Next, ma'am, please. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Dear participants, we are discussing very important topic today, like which is really connected to our life. We all know that planet Earth is very unique in terms of its having the water, because the mankind has been searching different planets for the existence of water, because water only gives us the chance for life. And this planet, this blue planet, because it is also called as blue planet, having water, we are unique in the entire universe till now. Until we discover water in other planets, we have got millions of galaxies and millions of planets. Till now, we have the real evidence of having water and using water and having life in only our planet Earth. So water is nature's greatest gift for all living beings. Ma'am, earlier. Water is life. Please be there, ma'am. Nature blessed us with abundant water for centuries. The important thing is that planet Earth is made up of 70% of water, but only 3% is fresh water, which we can actually use. Out of that 3% of fresh water, 20% of that fresh water is groundwater. The groundwater is available only in 20% out of that 3%. And major quantities of fresh water are in ice caps, glaciers. They are stored in glaciers, and glaciers, as we all know, that they do give us water during the summer, and our rivers are filled with these glacier waters in a systematic manner. But since this global warming is causing glaciers to melt down so fast that we are experiencing that fresh water loss also, which will be a very major threat to the very survival of many cities across that oceans and seas. And only 1% of that fresh water is in rivers, lakes, and other water bodies that we are using these days. The problem is, the next slide, ma'am. The problem is, we do have the water, we do have the enough water, but we have been over exploiting these water. It's a precious resource. The problem with us humans is, as Mahatma Gandhi pointed out, we do have enough for our needs, but the problem is that we have a lot of greed. There is not enough for our greed, mankind's greed, but we have enough for our need. The greed we cannot satisfy, but since that is resulting in over exploitation of this precious water, that is why it is resulting in water crisis. The other day we have every monsoon season we witness that the flooding of many areas in Chennai city, flooding of many areas in Hyderabad and Mumbai and Delhi. But at the same time, during the summer, we do experience severe water crisis in so many parts of these cities, especially Chennai. It is well known that once upon a time we have sent trains of water to Chennai, water through trains to Chennai from our Rayalaseema area, in the erstwhile United Andhra Pradesh. Such is the crisis. Similarly, during the last couple of years ago, we have also sent water from Nizamabad to Latur in Maharashtra through water trains, which is very expensive, which is very may not be sufficient to the kind of population that we have got in these cities. Is it the real answer that we need to supply the water through trains by setting up special water trains? Is it the only answer that we need to address? According to the Central Groundwater Board, 256 districts out of 700 districts in our country are recognized as critical or overexploited groundwater levels. 256 districts in our country are categorized as critical or overexploited groundwater levels. This calls for a very urgent attention to these water problems. As some speaker has pointed out, many girls and women, they have been sacrificing their life to fetch the water for their family, because traditionally we have a misconception that getting potable water is the responsibility of women. That is why so many women and children in Rajasthan, in Rajasthan and some other cities, they were denied of education because they were almost preoccupied with getting water from the far off and distant places. And coming back to our the status of water in our India, because India is having 18% of the total world population. 18% of the total world population is living in India, but at the same and similarly, 20% of the world's livestock is in India. 20% of the world livestock and 18% of the population they are in India, and but only we have got only 4% of the freshwater resources that are available in the world. 18% population of the total world, but only 4% of the water, fresh water resources are there in India. This calls for very urgent attention from all sections of people to be part of this water conservation movement. There is a clear, this shows that there is a clear imbalance between the size of the population, size of the livestock, and the requirement of the water and the availability of water. This is there is a huge imbalance. Similar, the only the silver lining in this entire episode is, in this entire scenario is that silver lining is that we are getting lot of plenty of rains, copious rains across India. But only thing, the availability of water, we are getting water through rains, but we are not able to store them, preserve them, conserve them. This is the main reason for our crisis. Next, man. Similarly, India is also emerging as a fast growing economy. India is, as we all know, that India is the sixth largest economy in the world. India is having the second most highest populated country in the world. So India is, there are many things that we are boasting of, but those are also posing different challenges for our country. We are the sixth largest economy, and there is a lot of economic and social activity, agriculture activity, industrial activity is there. Massive urbanization is witnessing across India. These are all posing a major challenge and the major stress on the water sources, everything. And this is all contributing for the huge imbalance in water requirement and water availability. These are all like agriculture activity, because we need to feed 130 crore people. We need to emerge as self-sufficient country in terms of food, in terms of industrial production, in terms of many other developmental activities. We are marching towards self-reliant India. That's our vision for the moment for the country. And these are all activities, massive infrastructure development. These all activities are creating lot of stress on water resources. Then how do we address these challenges? Because we need to feed a huge number of livestock, we need to feed huge number of people, and we need to sustain economic development to be a strong economy and to emerge as, and we are also targeting to emerge as a $5 trillion economy by 2023 or a couple of more years. These are all demanding lot of activities, lot of construction, infrastructure, a lot of developmental activities, welfare activities. But the major resource for all these things is water, water, water. And for this, we need to understand that no, the governments alone cannot do the entire thing for us, because every stakeholder has a role to play in this thing. Next slide. What can we do? And the solution to overcome the water crisis is that next, man. The solution to overcome this is crisis. We must effectively catch, conserve, and store rainwater. This is the only alternative. This is a major alternative that we have got. India receives plenty of rain during the summer, during this monsoon season, every time from July to June to October. Mostly 70% rain we get during this period, monsoon period. But during the other seasons, we do get very little or no rain at all. This poses that we need to be very active during these periods. The challenge is to effectively harvest the rainwater and use it judiciously. We need to get our groundwater replenished, because in either cities like Hyderabad and any other major metros, People are digging bore wells up to 1000 or 2000 feet or more in some cases to get the groundwater, to extract the groundwater, and they are using very heavy, very big sized motors to extract the water. The luxury that enjoying, but we are extracting, dear friends, we need to realize that we are extracting the water from 1000 or 2000 feet deep. That water was exactly formed millions of years ago. We are using that water, precious water, which was formed there millions of years ago. Because we are unable to replenish the groundwater levels, we are unable, we could not get those levels to the higher possible levels due to our concrete jungle kind of development model. We are paving all the structures in our houses. We are not allowing water to get seepage, to seep into the ground, and we are not allowing any water to get groundwater recharged through our massive constructions, because we are thinking that this as our what you call luxury symbols, what you call our affluence, symbols of affluence. But these are all not at all sustainable development models. Every house must be on its own a rechargeable housing structure. Many rules are there from the urban bodies, many instructions are there how to dig a bore well, where to dig, and how much you have to dig, and you have to take permissions. But these are all simply being ignored to a large extent. But then what we can do? At least 45% of total irrigation we are depending upon groundwater. Around at least 80% of domestic water comes from groundwater. We are heavily dependent upon groundwater. As you all know that since we have failed to replenish the surface water levels, we are more and more depending upon groundwater. As you know that 50% of households are denied of safe drinking water in the country, because we could not ensure the safe drinking water supply in many parts of the country. And we are still, for our domestic needs, where 80% of our needs are being met with the groundwater only. We are over exploiting the groundwater at a much faster rate than the rate at which we are replenishing them. We are exploiting the groundwater at a much faster rate than we are replenishing, recharging the groundwater. As a result, groundwater levels are getting depleted by the year, by the months. So there is a very possibility that with massive urbanization, the extraction levels will be higher in the coming days, and you are going to experience this water crisis in a very in a bigger manner, resulting in massive migration across the states. We have got one major example in Mahbub Nagar. People they go on migration to other places as to work as laborers, because the main reason is that they do not have enough groundwater levels to extract. That this may be a reality soon in other districts also, but through our sustained efforts, by the involvement of all the stakeholders, we are a little bit overcoming that to some extent. We are overcoming. And next, India is a water rich country. We are rich in different sectors, but the thing is that we are striving to emerge as a water rich country, and this Jal Jeevan mission is the government of India, as you have all pointed out, that has launched a national water mission, and it was launched on March 22nd. No development is possible without water. As we all know, water has been crucial and will be crucial for the development of humankind for centuries, and will remain so in the days to come, in the century, for the centuries to come, because every civilization that has prospered on the banks of different rivers only, different water bodies only, civilizations have come up, and many civilizations have lost due to the water as a result of water, uh, what you call calamities related to water also. It is our collective responsibility to conserve water. This is essential for sustainability, prosperity, and our very survival. Dear friends, we need to realize this is not only useful for our development, this is not only useful for our sustainable development, and this is not only useful for our prosperity, but it is very, very essential for our very survival on this planet Earth. This is a major problem that we are facing. Unless we realize the importance of storing water, conserving water, and making it judicious, making the use in a judicious manner, we are also targeting to achieve this. We need to have a lot of rainwater harvesting structures. Every building must have a rainwater harvesting structure, water harvesting pits, check dams, rooftops. Every house must have rooftop water harvesting structures, and removal of encroachments on the canals and feeder channels. Because due to this overuse of plastic, flooding in the cities is the main reason that we are blocking the feeder channels. We are encroaching on the canal waterways. That's why the city is getting easily flooded. Many cities are turning they're forced to use boats during every monsoon. In Hyderabad, we have witnessed, in Warangal, we have witnessed, in Mumbai, in Delhi, the other day, all the flyovers have become waterfalls, and Delhi waterfalls like Niagara waterfalls. These are all, we're actually getting the blessings through our copious rainfall, but it is a curse that we are not able to properly store that water, properly recharge our groundwater levels, replenish our tables, groundwater tables, and posing a threat to our future generations and our present generation also. Because it is also feared that in the days to come, water wars will be more. As some earlier speaker pointed out, that pandemics are resulting due to our meddling, due to our tampering of nature, because those are giving rise to different viruses, bacteria, and all the pandemics, epidemics. Similarly, if we maintain water bodies properly, we clean them and we desilt them, and we ensure that water is safe and water is stored, water is ready for use, we are doing a great service to the generations to come. Next. What exactly we need to do? Once we need to remember where we have to create awareness is, first of all, we need to, every house must have water harvesting structures. Even for those pakka buildings, we need to have rooftop structures, and we need to have more water harvesting pits in every house. We earlier, traditionally, every house was built with what we call water passage. In Telugu, we used to call them as donis, where the water of the entire rainwater of the entire house comes to a particular point, and they gets dissipated, they get seepage into our uh, in our groundwater. But these days you are carpeting everything. You are carpeting with tiles, you are carpeting with slabs and everything. Since you are not at all giving any place, any scope to water, for the water to get seep into the groundwater. This is a major problem. We need water harvesting pits, check dams, rooftop structures, removal of encroachments. This is one major the concern for the urban civic bodies also, where they have to do a lot of things. And desilting of tanks and water bodies. This is one of the important initiatives of the Telangana government also. Through Mission Kakatiya, they have revived all the traditional tanks where they could desilt the tanks and improve the water storage levels. As a result, groundwater levels in many places have come up very dramatically improved, magically improved in so many places. This is one important achievement of the Mission Kakatiya, where it can be where it can also be replicated in other states, where you can. I hope some of the scholars from different other states, they can also have a look at this Mission Kakatiya. Mission Kakatiya is it's a mission. Surface storing of surface water helps us to reduce the usage of power bill also, because we are over exploiting water, and for that we are using power, which again consumes a lot of coal and other combustible resources, those resources, because we are also exploiting the coal, over exploiting the coal to generate power and to extract the water. It's all a vicious circle where you are going through this vicious circle and causing the planet to go get warmer by the day. Global warming and greenhouse gas effects. These are all the things that we are connected with. I think your eco clubs are also doing excellent job on these levels. Next slide, ma'am, please. Increased groundwater levels will transform benefits. What will be the reason? Increased groundwater levels will transform the economy and result in increased livelihoods, because livelihoods is a major problem for millions of people. This COVID has also robbed so many millions of people of their livelihoods, and unless we have enough groundwater levels and unless we have enough water resources, we cannot provide livelihoods. We cannot ensure livelihoods for all these people. That is why increased groundwater level as the rain campaign is essential for this initiative. It must reach, this campaign must reach all the sections of the people, and I'm sure the students and those who are in education, we have a greater responsibility to take this mission forward and create a lot of awareness and involve all the stakeholders in this particular mission, because it is very much concerned with everybody. We must ensure sufficient groundwater levels and water resources to the future generations to achieve sustainable development. Madam, next. Next, ma'am. Nirja, ma'am, Dr. Nirja, ma'am, please, next. Okay, I'll go ahead. We need to follow 5R mantra. What is this 5R mantra? For this mission to be taken forward, we need to follow 5R mantra. The first R is recharge groundwater. The first R is recharge groundwater. The second R is reduce wastage. Reduce wastage, recharge and reduce wastage. Goal is to achieve water usage efficiency by 20%. And reuse water. Reuse water. Diverting the used water to plants or for kitchen gardens or for any other community gardens. That is reuse water. And the recycle of wastewater. Recycle. We are on the verge of being forced to go for this recycle of wastewater, because we are unable to meet our requirements. We are unable to meet our requirements. That is why we are being forced to recycle the wastewater. For example, Israel is a country which has made tremendous development in water resources management, effective water resources management, where 80% of sewage water, 80% of sewage water is being recycled for agriculture, for horticulture, and so many other things. And the fifth R is respect water. You need to respect water. There are 5 mantras, 5R mantra: recharge, reduce waste, reuse water, recycle wastewater, and respect water. We need to respect the water, because water is life. We need to respect water. As our traditions point out, we used to take a holy dip. We do take a holy dip in rivers, considering them as holy. Water is holier than many other things in our country, and we need to follow that, because at least we do not intentionally spoil those waters. Though there are the sad thing is that despite spending 20,000 crores on Namami Gange, we are not able to control the pollutions. But we could do to a major extent that Ganga is a bit cleaner now. But we have a long way to go, and I'm sure this may not be the reality for our other rivers like Ganga, Krishna, Godavari, Narmada, and Kaveri. We need to be very cautious about not polluting. Ma'am, next. What we have to do to promote this water literacy. We need to promote water literacy. Though we are literate, we need to promote water literacy among the people. because everybody is literate about water usage and water conservation. Water literacy is very important, and concept of water footprint must be promoted as to how, where the water is coming from and where it is going and how it is being utilized, whether it is rightly being utilized or misused or going waste. Some estimates do point out that every Indian and an average waste 45 liters of water on a day, on a single day, through our overflowing of tanks, through our while we brush and while we take bath and washing clothes. We do have such kind of dubious distinction of wasting 45 liters of water on an average a day, every individual. And please be a gel rakshak, be a water warrior. As we have seen recently, COVID warriors have done excellent job in saving humanity. Similarly, we need to be, everybody has to be a water warrior, and we need to be a gel rakshak. Awareness and increased awareness and lifestyle changes need to be made. For example, like uh, for every pair of jeans that is being produced in this country, we in across the world, we are utilizing 11,000 liters of water is consumed. 11,000 liters of water is consumed to produce a pair of jeans. One jeans pant is consuming and 11,000 liters of water. Similarly, to produce a 1 kg of goat meat, 1 kg of meat, we are spending it is consuming 5,000 liters of water. 5,000 liters of water uh, for every 1 kg of goat meat. It's a huge thing. Similarly, for many other, like every kg of rice is being produced by consuming at least 2,000 to 3,000 liters of water. But we do, most of the times we don't care how much we waste. Especially uh, those who are not aware, not to waste the food and not to waste the water. You cannot imagine in big fat Indian weddings how much food is wasted, and indirectly how much water is being wasted for this. For every kg of rice, it's taking 2,000 to 3,000 liters of water. For every kilo of mutton, it is taking 5,000 liters of water. Similarly, for beef, everything, the statistics are different. We need to adjust different lifestyles. We need to be very judicious in our utilization of resources and food. There is an also argument about a ban to be exported and rice, ban to be imposed on rice exports. Like since what paddy is consuming a lot of water for production, so many countries have started not producing paddy. Instead of, they are importing paddy and rice, processed rice. That way, some agricultural scientists, eminent scientists of agriculture, they have earlier pointed out we must impose a blanket ban on export of rice from our country, because in other words, virtually we are exporting water. Instead of rice, we are exporting water. This is a major concern. This takes a lot of intricacies to understand, but these are the things that we need to be aware, so that we will not be wasting, we'll be using them judiciously, and we'll be more aware of water footprints and water literacy. Things must be kept in our mind. Next, ma'am. Next. For this, agriculture is the main field where the water is being consumed. Like if we promote drip and sprinkler irrigation, that will effectively reduce a lot of water wastage. There are many schemes that are actually aimed at benefiting the farmers, but they are resulting uh, in other unexpected results. Because if you are giving free power to the farmers, most of the times they are overutilizing the water and overutilizing the power also. And this way, the thing is that you are losing two precious resources in other words. But the goal is good, the aim is good, the intention is good, but in the implementation stage, we are facing these problems. Instead of this, we need to promote this drip, sprinkler, and modern irrigation technologies, where the Israel is a clear leader, clear winner in this aspect. Because if nobody can expect that if the kind of rain that we are getting, if the Israel or any other Arab country gets this kind of water, they would have dominated the world like anything. We are a potential superpower all the time, but we have got the potential to emerge as a superpower in different aspects. Only thing is lacking is that effective utilization, and judicious utilization is lacking. So we need to shift to non-water intensive crops, use of surface water for irrigation. We need to promote all-round awareness, and this movement should take a public movement. This should shape into a transform into a public movement, so that all the people are aware, and all the people do show interest, and they take part in whatever the little bit they could do. They can conserve the water and preserve the water and promote the water effective water usage management. Water, if water is saved, water is produced, and awareness on climate change need to be promoted, because if the rhythm of monsoons, rhythm of seasons, if we lose everything. Because already results are there. If you are experiencing heavy rains, downpours, and if you're not experiencing, there is all round these by some of the speakers. And I would like to, lastly, I would like to uh, drive home the point that India, with its increasing population, is going to experience 55% of gap between water needs and water availability. It's a massive number. 55% of water gap will be there between per capita needs, per capita water needs, and per capita water availability. This gap is ever growing, and this gap will reach 55% by 2050. It is predicted by the government sources only. By 2050, India is going to experience 55% of gap between the water needs and water availability. And this is a major concern. We need to understand. Water might be the, and there is another theory that another fear, in fact, water might be the basis for the third world war in the universe. So God forbid it won't come, but this might be the reason for friction between too many states and countries, as we are witnessing the same with Kaveri, same with Godavari, Krishna, that we are witnessing here between our neighboring states. We all know that Latur, Chennai were supplied with water with trains, and I hope that kind of situation may not come for us. These are the things. Even in agriculture also, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has pointed out that more crop per drop. This is very important. The water we are using must be effectively used for more crop, but we are wasting so much of water, but we are getting very less yield. More crop per drop. Every drop counts, as some eminent speaker has pointed out. Every drop counts in this era. We need to overcome this contradictory state, where contradictory conditions like paradoxical conditions, like where you get plenty of rain, where your cities are getting inundated, where thousands of people are losing their livelihoods, and at the same time, in the summer you are not having water in many places. So thank you, friends. I hope you all understand the need to be a Jal Rakshak. You all need to be a Jal Rakshaks in our own way, and in our educational institutions might be turning up, be the transformational stage to take the initiatives in water conservation, preservation, and by catching the rain as effectively as possible. I'm sure I could make some sense about through my presentation. I'm I'm willing to take some answers and interact with you, friends. I really thank all the organizers, the principals, the IQAC coordinators, the eco clubs, and the science faculties, and everybody who is part of this wonderful, really meaningful webinar. Thank you, sir. Thank you all the participants for being patient.